Alright. It's a blue-white miracles list that I'm playing against here, but they only have, blue in hand. But it's cool. I have to mulligan this. It's very close. If I draw a land, I'm good, but I don't want to risk it. Even, I think I'm on the play. Yeah, I'm on the play. So yeah, I don't feel like risking it. So, mulligan. This isn't bad, because I have a lot of early disruption now, and I have two ways to search for stuff. Scry, can't remember what it was. Sanctum. Yeah, and I put it on bottom because I have two lands. I'm going to hit three. Not worried about that. So go for the immediate discard. I do see it's a one land hand, but what I'm looking at here is I can't get Jace or Cryptic. So that leaves Logic Knot, Opt, or Serum Visions. Opt and Serum Visions means that they're going to have to pay mana to, draw their second land. So that means that the real thing I got to worry about is Logic Knot. If I can sneak in the lock under Logic Knot, then I'm good to go. Especially if I can sneak in like a Needle. And then it's a matter of using Brutality or Thoughtseize to get rid of that Cryptic. Or overload their ability to use Cryptic. So yeah. Okay, yeah. So they do draw a second land there. Yeah, go ahead and what I'm looking for here is I know their hand. So I go ahead and immediately stirrings and try to resolve something here. Yeah, and I wasn't sure what to cast here, whether the Inquisition or not. So what I decided to do is, I know they scribe to the top, so I go ahead and use Pixis. Yeah. So my third turn, go ahead and Inquisition. I want to take the Search. Search is bad for me. I did use Bobble to try to set up my draw, and I do end up drawing into the lock. So now I'm doing pretty good. I just got to watch out for Cryptic and Jace. I know that Cryptic and Jace aren't online yet, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now it's a matter of sneaking in bridge. Again, I wasn't sure if I should exile here, but I know telling time is bad for me. So I go ahead and exile it now. Unfortunately, there is a Jace on top, so if I can get a Needle, then that cuts off 3 cards out of their hand. And even if I don't get the Needle, that means that they have to, they'll brainstorm immediately to try to get rid of that. And that buys me another turn for a Needle. So here, I play the bridge now since I know I can sneak it in. I know they don't have a counter. And I want to draw this Brutality to get the Cryptic out of their hand. Now, if they hold up mana for Cryptic, that's fine. I just untap and, or they bounce, I don't know, what, bridge? And then I'm still good. Still have the lock. They're trying to figure out if they're going to hold mana for Cryptic or Jace or what, so. So, go for the Cryptic. It's fine. Don't want to bounce something. Sure, bounce bridge. They don't have a counter for it. So, and if they had bounced anything else, I could have just recast it. And, oh yeah, they wanted to do, instead of countering, because there's nothing to counter, they decided to go ahead and draw to try to dig deeper. And of course, I take the Opt. And I stirrings now while I can, while they're tapped out and don't have a counter. Now I'm fully expecting them to untap Slam Jace. So I'm really want to be able to get a Needle as quickly as I can. I know I can safely land Bridge next turn as well. I'm going to empty my hand, probably. So Jace, and it's just a matter of like, oh crap, they get the Brainstorm. And they do end up drawing a Sphere. Now if they put Sphere on top, I can just mill it. So that forces them to keep it in their hand, and I know that, okay, I need to watch out for Sphere. I can just hold Bridge. If they use Sphere on Pixis, I can just play Shredder, If they use Fear on Lantern, then okay. You know, I can still probably get cards in underneath their counters or whatever with Pixis. I don't know what I've exiled, but it's a possibility. Yeah, and they're trying to. Yeah, and I remind my opponent that, you know, next time I can respond to it with a lantern. I can only see the top. Oh, I mean, I can see all three, but I can only respond if I see the top and don't get to respond to each individual draw. So I can only respond to the activation. Opponent isn't sure whether or not all the cards are supposed to be revealed. They are, so I offered to provide them a link to show that ruling. And I do. They're trying to set up their draws. Again, I don't need that land. What was it? Yeah, Glimmer Void. I don't want my opponent to have Telling Time, so I Pixis. Fortunately, that draws me into a Thoughtseize. I mean, I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 discard. 5 of it can hit Detention Sphere, so I'm not too worried about it. So go for the Thoughtseize, grab the sphere, and then I can play the second rock, and that's much better. I'm not too worried about the miracle here. Yeah, I mean, they're going to draw either way. If they don't miracle it, it's stuck in their hand. If they do, then they're tapped out, and I can easily land bridge. So now it's just a matter of their Jace activations pulling through for them. So I see them draw these 2 Ramands. So land the bridge. I'm okay with them drawing that land. Now, fortunately, because they had so many Jace and higher casting cost stuff, and it looks like they had to cut down on their cryptics. So they're only running 3 cryptics, I believe. So I go to, yeah, they try to stack it. Now I know there's a cryptic underneath there. So I know that I need to dig down to that cryptic to get rid of it. And I'm going to try to use their remands. If they don't remand my stuff, then I just dig down and mill it. If they do remand my stuff, then it helps me dig down. So either way, I'm going to be able to dig down and get rid of that cryptic. I'm okay with that. There's the cryptic. Now I'm not going to play anything. I'm just going to do it. Because I know that they can't. Their only option now is if they have an instant, they can try to cast the instant, remand their own instant to draw cryptic, in which case I still mill it in response. I'm good. But I know that they don't have an instant. So they go to try to fetch in response to my Pixis, in response to that, because I know that their only answers to beat me are to use Cryptic, Detention Sphere, or Jace. Jace isn't doing, he has to focus Jace just on trying to break the lock, so Jace isn't going to do it. Detention Sphere, we saw 1, I believe they only run 2, so that's not so bad. And that leaves Cryptic. Now, that means they're already down 2 Cryptics. They probably only run 3, usually do. So that means that I just got to stop them from drawing the Cryptic. So that leaves 1 Cryptic, 1 Detention Sphere, and what was the other card? Well, using Jace, I'm sorry. So that's 2 out of 30. 2 out of 9, 2 out of something else, actually. But so, yeah. Yep. Go ahead and Stirrings. Using my floating mana. And I'm thinking real hard. I wasn't sure if I want to get Bell or another Lantern. Sorry, not Bell. A Bauble or another Lantern. Bauble would let me draw into more stuff. Lantern helps secure the lock immediately. So I grabbed the Lantern. I play the Bell first because that's the thing I really want to resolve. And if they remand it, I can just do it again. I mean, either way, I guess it doesn't matter. I'm not worried about Logic Knot. So they go to Brainstorm. I'm good with it. And again, they have 2 cards really in their entire deck, so they have to try to dig to those 2 cards. They could try to search for Azcanta as well, but I've already gotten rid of 1. They usually run 2. So let's benefit of the doubt, 3 cards out of their 27 now. And every time they use Jace, that helps me mill them an additional card. So now what I'm looking to do is, I know what they got going here, and I want to dig down to those cryptics, the cryptic, the detention sphere, and the search for Azcanta, so that I can mill it, because since Jace doesn't draw it, instant speed. I go for duress mode, or the discard mode. If they cast for man, that's fine. That draws some additional dead card and helps me dig down into, and I'm going to draw Inquisition anyways. And if they cast Logic Knot, also not so bad. And they do Remand, so it draws them an additional card. Now here they do have Vendilion Clique. And so what I'm worried about here, I saw them draw it. What I'm worried about here is that they'll Vendilion Clique either me, which is not so bad, but they can use it to instant speed draw themselves. So I gotta watch out for that. So I mill myself. Since I only have 1 black source, it doesn't matter. So I'm looking to draw this whir, and I figure if I see a whir on top. I didn't know it was there before I milled. And then I figure I can hold that, force the click until I get my 3rd land. Yeah, so it does kind of force the click. Yeah, they target me, and I'm thinking about milling this so I can draw into something else instead. And I do, and that draws me into another land. They do take the whir. So now I can freely brutality their hand, get rid of this Logic Knot. I was worried about Serum Visions a little bit because that combined with Jace is pretty good, but they path their own creature to try to get something going. And they do end up hitting that second search for Azcanta. But notice they're down to 19 cards in their library now. They're going to get it to flip, and I just got to, dig down. Again, I'm milling like crazy at this point because I need to put my opponent on a serious clock. So I was thinking here, if I play the bridge, then Cryptic doesn't matter because they can't bounce both bridges. So that means that they have to draw, their only out is Detention Sphere. Again, I don't want them to have Telling Time because that lets them dig deeper. And now the opponent's like, well, I should have been taking Jace up. Again, I don't necessarily agree because if they hadn't been taking Jace up, I would have been able to, like whir for Needle and stop Jace. Or I would have been able to dig through my own library thanks to Jace. They did have another Telling Time next, unfortunately. So what I'm looking to do here is, mill at the end of their turn, force them to try to get the... If I do this at the end of their turn, that will allow me... So now they're taking up Jace. If they do Telling Time or Search at the end of my turn, that'll allow me to, dig for like a discard or something. 1, 2, 3. Okay, all of my Inquisitions are gone, so that leaves one Thoughtseize, actually. One Thoughtseize and a Brutality. Brutality won't get it. But it will allow me to try to dig for a Whir if I need to. So I'm trying to force my opponent's hand here. Yeah, there. So there's the Whir. So now if my opponent tries to use these to get the Detention Sphere, it's fine, because then I can wait and then wait for attacks. They play it, I wait for attacks, and then I Whir in the... wait, do I have a last bridge? Yeah, we're in the third bridge. So I still win. Oh, oh no, wait, yeah. I want to... I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. We're in Needle to name Azcanta. I'm not worried about Jace, because they need Detention Sphere. Yeah, I let them do it. What are they going to do? Grab a Cryptic? Counter it? Okay. They're still trying. Still not getting it. And go get Needle. Now, I wasn't going to Needle Jace, I was going to Needle Search for Azcanta, because Search lets them dig deeper. Alright. They did not play game 2. They left, unfortunately. They unlocked their sideboard, but